At the office, Jun-ho found himself overwhelmed by the numerous commission requests he had received. He felt confused, especially since he had mentioned in a conference that the Shadow Brothers did most of the work to clear the gate. Chaseyoon, one of his colleagues, offered some wisdom, saying that luck is also a skill and recommended that he get a haircut. Jun-ho, appreciating her advice, allowed her to leave early. She left with a smile, reminding him to get a haircut on his way out. As Jun-ho walked outside, he couldn't help but think that wearing his mask made everything simpler. He decided to visit a comic library, where he discovered that there were no other visitors. Feeling a bit more at ease, he removed his mask and prepared to sit at his usual spot. However, his plans were interrupted when he saw a girl already sitting there, and to his surprise it was Chae-Yoon. Both of them were taken aback by this unexpected encounter. Chae-Yoon looked at him, and reassured him that there was nothing wrong with reading manhwa. Jun-ho playfully teased her about the title of the manhwa she was reading, which caused her to get a bit irritated. She then inquired about his book, and Jun-ho replied that his choice wasn't any better. Jun-ho remarked on his surprise at seeing her in a manhwa cafe, considering she appeared to be one of the elites. However, she explained her love for the place, where she could find solace and enjoy the scent of old books. Jun-ho agreed with her sentiments. After a friendly farewell, Jun-ho couldn't help but be impressed by Chae-Yoon's work ethic and decided he should put in more effort as well. Later, Jun-ho informed Duke about his plan to go to the United States to find the Fiend's meeting place. He handed over dragon bones and asked Duke to deliver the rest to Kwon Noya for making a sword. As Jun-ho lay on his bed, he asked Chae-Yoon to arrange a plane ticket to Las Vegas. He looked at his items and stats, realizing that it wouldn't be long before he could use sword aura and venture into the second and third floors. He wondered how strong the top players had become after 25 years. Upon arriving in Las Vegas, Jun-ho complained about the tiring plane ride, reminiscing about the days when teleportation made travel easier. He quickly looked up the Fiend's meeting place, and resolved to finish his mission swiftly for some well-deserved rest. At the meeting place, two Fiends discussed the watchdogs and how they had been responsible for their boss's demise. 3 watchdogs arrived and inquired about their new orders. Upon learning that their mission had changed, they expressed their disappointment at not heading to the second floor. The watchdog's leader reviewed the orders, then burned them to ensure no traces remained. As the watchdogs departed, the two Fiends breathed a sigh of relief. Arma, the skeletal mage, had a notorious reputation, including the massacre in Turkey. Jun-ho arrived and swiftly dispatched the two Fiends, lamenting their lack of useful information. He called Duke and asked for assistance in securing a ticket to participate in the Las Vegas auction. Jun-ho visited the auction venue to familiarize himself with the surroundings. When Jun-ho attempted to enter the casino, he was initially blocked by the guards, but one of them recognized him from when they had tried to recruit him alongside Gong Yuha. Jun-ho was curious about their presence in Las Vegas and learned that they worked as security for the casino. He inquired about the reason for the alarm ringing when he attempted to enter the casino, and In-ho explained that players were not allowed on the regular casino floor, as their abilities could lead to significant losses for the establishment. Instead, there was a separate casino for players where the dealers were also players themselves. Jun-ho, surprised to see Gong Yuha, how badly she was losing, sat down beside her. Gong Yuha was surprised and questioning whether Jun-ho had changed his mind about becoming her underling. Jun-ho clarified that he was there for the auction and sought to explore the event further. Gong Yuha revealed her role as the head of security at the hotel, and they chatted while Jun-ho marveled at her ability to gamble while working. The two engaged in a gambling game, where Gong Yuha advised Jun-ho not to go all in and to get used to the dealer's speed. He was curious about why she kept losing despite her familiarity with the game. They continued to play, and eventually, Jun-ho's luck turned as he won a round. And she stated that it was a beginning's luck. 2 players approached them and Jun-ho recognized them as Watchdogs members. He decided to keep playing to observe and potentially uncover information about the Fiends. With more players joining, the dealer increased the number of cups to 5, and they continued to play. The dealer's actions were closely watched. But Jun-ho and the Fiend pointed at same cup and it was right. Jun-ho thought that the male Fiend will be the harder to deal with. He shared a mysterious artifact resembling a compass, saying that President Duke had lent it to him, and it would help him locate specific individuals when using mana. Gong Yuha got curious. Jun-ho used the artifact, and it pointed in the direction of the watchdogs. Jun-ho acted surprised and excused himself to the bathroom. The male watchdog member, believing the artifact allowed Jun-ho to track Fiends, followed him into an alley. There, Jun-ho cleverly lured the watchdog into a trap, Then Junho broke the compass and Fiend was confused and understood it wasn't a real artifact. He asked Junho if he lured him here and how much Junho knew about them. Junho told him about their schedule tomorrow. The Fiend attacked Junho, and Junho was surprised at his speed and wondered if he is an accelerator user. The Fiend was confident and told Junho that he can't dodge the next attack. Junho baited him to attack by closing his eyes. He attacked but missed. The Fiend's arm was already frozen. Junho mocked him that speed is useless if he was predictable. The Fiend attacked again, and Junho froze his other arm and gave the finishing blow, and obtained critical information about the Watchdog's plans and schedule. Meanwhile, back at the Watchdog's hideout, the two remaining members discussed their missing comrade. Their leader, Arma, showed her a list of players currently in Las Vegas and identified Junho as a potential threat. Arma realized that Junho was affiliated with the Shadow Brothers, raising concerns about his intentions. He designated Junho as a threat and decided to find a way to eliminate him during the auction. Junho proceeded to the auction, where Gong Yuho was astonished by the presence of numerous famous figures. She found her seat but was surprised to see Junho. She reminded him that seats were reserved and he couldn't just sit anywhere. Junho showed her his VIP invitation, leaving her surprised by his apparent connection to powerful individuals. She inquired about how he obtained the ticket, and he explained that President Duke had arranged it for him. Gong Yuha suspected Junho might be the president's proxy. Junho realized Duke's motive for sending him the expensive suit and planned to interrogate him upon his return. She emphasized her commitment to her job as a professional. Their conversation shifted as they observed the auction items. Gong Yuha was actively bidding on cold attribute items, Junho to remind her of her professional responsibilities. She teased him about his reluctance to make any purchases, and Junho eventually bought a necklace. When she probed whether it was for his girlfriend, he clarified that he didn't have one. She then suggested it might be for his mother, but he revealed that his mother had passed away, leading to a moment of sympathy. The auction continued with an item called the Unknown Ball, which captured Junho's curiosity due to his keen intuition. Others speculated about the item's mysterious nature, as it had remained unsolved for 20 years. Despite not knowing why his intuition reacted to it, Junho decided to bid on the item. The next item, Heaven's Breathe, piqued his interest, and Gong Yuha explained its price would depend on the country leader's spending capacity. During the auction, an unexpected attack occurred, causing panic among the attendees. One of the bodyguards swiftly created a protective shield, saving everyone from falling debris. Impressed by the guard's quick reaction, Junho noted the chaos and speculated which fiend might be responsible for summoning skeletons. Junho offered assistance, and Gong Yuha took command, issuing orders to evacuate the audience and protect the auction items. As Gong Yuha tried to manage the situation, she realized that Junho had already left. The attendees were in a hurry as they attempted to escape through the small doors. Gong Yuha decided to create an exit by punching a hole in the wall. In the midst of the chaos, an unexpected hole appeared, and a bullet struck one of her guards, causing the protective shield to collapse. As she witnessed the arrival of skeletons, Gong Yuha engaged in combat, demonstrating her exceptional abilities as a special attribute user. A member of the Watchdogs observed her incredible power, acknowledging her as one of the strongest special attribute users, possessing the rank of S, as the ruler of flames. She decided not to engage Gong Yuha directly. Arma inquired if she had obtained the item and instructed her to proceed to point B immediately. Despite her disappointment at not being able to eliminate Junho, she suddenly spotted him in the distance. Filled with excitement, she took aim, intending to take him out swiftly. She utilized her skill to teleport a bullet close to Junho's head, but to her disbelief, he easily dodged it. Frustrated, she took another shot. Junho, observing the portals created by her skill, swiftly activated his Shadow Step ability, disappearing from her line of sight. She was taken aback, realizing that even rankers couldn't evade her attacks. She soon noticed the direction in which he was headed, but it was too late. Junho was behind her and froze her legs, evoking terror. In a trembling voice, she asked him who he was. Junho replied that it didn't matter, as the Watchdogs would vanish tonight. Amidst the chaos, Heaven's Breathe went missing. Gong Yuha wondered if the skeleton mage had taken it, but Gong Yuha couldn't comprehend how it had disappeared. The armor the skeletons wore was identical to those of individuals who had gone missing 3 years prior, reminding her of the disappearance case on the second floor. They concluded that the missing players and the skeletons shared a connection. Meanwhile, Junho accessed the Watchdog's memory to gather insights into their plans and their meeting location. Following the mission's completion, he didn't obtain extensive information about the Fiend Association. Arma, the watchdog's leader, had been controlling them. Junho made a strategy to confront Arma and considered that charging recklessly into the hideout with traps might not be the best approach. Junho noticed the Fiend's watch and devised a plan. Arma received a message indicating that one of his subordinates was being followed. He inquired about the item they had been carrying, and the subordinate confirmed, saying they hid the item in an alley and left a mark while aware that he was still being pursued. He grew curious about the identity of the person following him and decided to check the location mentioned in the message. Sensing the item in a trash can, Arma retrieved Heaven's Breath but was shocked when it suddenly exploded, freezing his arm. Arma realized he had fallen into a trap. Arma summoned his skeletons, preparing to face Junho. However, Junho spawned behind him swiftly and inflicted a fatal blow. With Arma's death, the skeletons at the auction vanished, leaving Gong Yuha to ponder whether the mage had recalled them or if he had been defeated. Junho gained levels after eliminating Arma, reflecting on how close he had come to being in Arma's position if he hadn't fallen for the trap. He accessed Arma's memory, witnessing the recruitment of the Fiends and Arma's rise to leadership within the Watchdogs. He also learned about the Fiend's ultimate goal, which was to dominate the tower, but his skill wasn't sufficient to recall all the memories. Enraged by the revelation that the Fiends turned orphans into fiends, treating them as expendable resources, Junho vowed to stop them from creating more victims like Arma. He also wondered if the man he saw in the memories was not Sid Hollow. Back in the auction hall, Gong Yuha was frustrated by their inability to locate Heaven's Breath. She vented her anger, lamenting that if it weren't for the fiends, she would have been sleeping peacefully. A guard approached her, informing her that a gift had been left for her by a fan. He hinted that the contents of the gift might come as a shock. As Gong Yuha opened it, she initially believed it to be a fantastic replica, but the guard confirmed that it was the original item. Her surprise escalated when she discovered a note within the gift. The note revealed that the skeleton mage and 2 fiends had been dealt with, Heaven's Breath had been retrieved, and the location of the skeleton mage's corpse was disclosed. The note was signed by a fan, leaving Gong Yuha both bewildered and curious about the identity of this mysterious benefactor. She expressed her desire to meet this person to the guard, but he explained that they hadn't found any leads from the area where the corpse was discovered. He speculated that the individual behind this act might be a professional, or at least a ranker. Junho entered the scene, catching their attention. She scolded him for leaving during an emergency, and he had run away like he did at the casino. Gong Yuha informed him about a mysterious gift she had received from a fan who had managed to retrieve Heaven's Breath, which had gone missing during the attack. She was curious to meet this fan and was convinced that they were a powerful individual, possibly a ranker. As the auction had concluded, Gong Yuha asked him why he was still there, and he mentioned his intention to pick up the items that he won at auction. She mentioned that the next time they crossed paths, it would probably be on the 2nd floor. She said if he managed to ascend to the 2nd floor within half a year, she would reward him with a present. However, if he couldn't, he would have to fulfill her wish. Junho was well aware that her request would likely involve him joining their guild, but he accepted the challenge. They sealed their agreement with a firm handshake.